some people I can't stand are complainers. Like people that complain and whine about everything. It's like it's like a it's like a sports like something that people put in their CVs nowadays. It's like when people complain, like when you lot complain about your 9 to 5, yeah, I always think to myself like where's that shit going? Because I think the amount of 9 to 5s I worked at, and I think to myself, they're all the same. It's I find it so strange that people complain like they'll literally you get one person go from one place, if it's like bitching and whining about one thing, and it's always something like it's a case of I don't know, like I don't know, like there has to come to a point where you have to ask yourself, maybe it's me, maybe I'm the prick. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not my boss that's been a dickhead. Maybe I'm a bit of a waste man, because there is an element where like if you work somewhere and you don't like your boss, whatever, or you feel like you don't get treated fairly, like it gets to a certain point where if you're still there, then it's on you. Do you know what I mean? So it's a case of like, where do you draw the line in the sense of I've got an issue, I've got a problem. Here's X, Y, and Z as a solution. Here's X, Y, and Z as a solution. Now, which option am I going to pick? Now, when you never pick any of them, in fact, the one you pick is the one that sort of keeps the problem there. Not even sort of, it keeps the problem there, i.e., you stay at the job. It gets to a point where it's a case of, okay, at what point is it now? Okay, it's me. Because if the job's that bad, you just leave. Same thing when people complain about their relationships or whatever it is. Like at what point do you say to yourself, maybe it's me? Because I think, there's the whole thing of fool me once, shame on me, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. It's like, do you know what I mean? So when you identify something's an issue in your life, at what point does it then become, like, let's say you say you got person A, they've got an issue and it's a genuine one. So and so is treating them in a certain type of way. They're in an environment where shit just ain't moving right. Now, at what point does it now become, like, at what point, like, if you do nothing to try and, at the very least get out of that environment, you may not have the answer straight away to fix whatever problem, but at the very least taking the first steps to try and get rid of this problem that you have. Like, at what point do you look at yourself and be like, okay, yeah, maybe it's me. Do you know what I mean? And then at that point you have to ask yourself, like, I don't know, man. Anyway, I'm just seeing this video. I'm trying to figure out if this is real or not. Where this prison guard in his H&P Wandsworth, I see on Shea Borough. Is it like, am I right in saying that this woman's fucking one of the prisoners? Obviously, that's nothing new, but that can fit, like, because I see a clip earlier, and I'm pretty sure that there was a guy in a cell I think he was commentating it. He was commentating whilst she's turning around or something. She's got a uniform and everything. So, but again, I'm starting to think to myself when it comes to social media, yeah. Like, I'm starting to wonder to myself, have we gotten to the point where, like, how much of this shit is real? Because you can't tell, like I'm pretty sure at some point there's going to be some sort of, apology or blah, blah, blah. But you can't tell me that you don't know that that's going to go online. Come on. Like in one, the same is that the prisoner's got a phone. Like, at what point, do you know what I mean? So it's like, this is definitely going to go online, and this is definitely, so at this point, I think to myself, is this real? Is she generally just been caught out and she didn't realize? Do you know what I mean? Because it's not CCTV footage. This is someone's phone. Albeit it's a bit blurry, but still, I think, like, there's a guy commentating, saying blah 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 while she's turned around to do I don't know what. But apparently the woman, I think she's married. I don't know if that's someone embellishing it, but anyway, it is like, where's, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like the same thing. There's a young girl that's got she's doing like reaction videos for Game of Thrones, and basically she's like her first time watching Game of Thrones. Now, okay, I'm not that ignorant to think to myself, everybody's seeing Game of Thrones just because I've seen it. In fact, even me and my wife, we watched it quite late. But like I refuse, like, it's because Game of Thrones is a very popular, like, it's a very popular show to a point where it kind of got into pop culture in a sense. Like, people are using references, people are using memes or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? So at this point, it's a very much a case, if you didn't know what it was, you genuinely living under a rock. Now, we'll talk about the average person. Now, let me point out that this young lady has, she's an interpersonality. Like, she does streaming. She streams on Discord, whatever it is, this, that, and the other. I think mainly like with other fantasy stuff like Harry Potter, blah, blah, blah. So as far as being online, she's very much there. So when Game of Thrones was at its peak, like at the highest point where people are literally, like the last season, like everybody knew. I remember, like, even now it's at a point where there's no point of putting spoiler alert, because, do you know what I mean? But anyway, like, I'll give her this. She's definitely got me hooked, because even me, I want to. Do you know what I mean? I'm waiting for a reaction to when she sees Matey gets his eyes popped out, that Matey the Viper. But anyway, like, at this point, I'm thinking, are you generally saying that you don't know anything about Game of Thrones? And I'll give it to her this, like, her reactions do seem genuine. Do you know what I mean? She's in tears at the red wedding, or when Ned gets his head chopped off, blah blah blah. But I'm thinking to myself, like, is this a gimmick? Because I can't help but think that, because we're at a point where, like, there's no way, if you're someone who's been online, that you don't know anything about Game of Thrones. Like, do you know what I mean? It's even the same thing, like, when you see people getting into altercations in public, and someone records it, and they start acting. There's no way you're not aware that this is gonna go online. Do you know what I mean? This is like within seconds. This is gonna. Do you know what I mean? So it's a point where, like, and the thing is, like, I feel like we've got to a point where people are. They are sort of trying to capitalize on this, because there is an element where if you can go viral in some way, shape, or form, you can, and you like, overnight you get X amount of followers. There is an element, if you're smart about it, you can utilize it. So there's something, that whole clickbait shit. So it's a point where, like, how much of this, I'm trying to think to myself, how much of what we see on social media nowadays is genuine. These are genuine situations that are happening to genuine people, and these are genuine reactions that we're seeing, rather than it being basically orchestrated. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, people going and acting a fool simply to get reactions, and simply to just, do you know what I mean? I think there was a point, the once upon a time, it was a time where people were generally just being caught out. Do you know what I mean? They didn't realize, they'd be like, oh shit, blah, blah, blah. But I'm pretty sure anytime anyone's anywhere in public, especially in like city centers, when some sort of madness goes down, you can look up, someone's going to have their phone out. Do you know what I mean? So at the very least, it's a case of, what angle am I going to get caught in? So, do you know what I mean? So I don't know, like someone says here, the funniest thing about the video with the screw in HMB Wandsworth, the guy filming will get in more trouble than the guy having sex, because he's smoking weed and phone has because he's smoking weed and has a phone in jail. But do you know, like, do you know what I mean? It's a case of, like, what, me personally, I've never been to jail, so I don't know if you're allowed to have phones. I don't know if you're allowed to smoke weed, but I'm assuming that's not, you know what I mean? That's not allowed. So it's the case of, if it is, I don't know. Anyway, like, even like, I remember even like last year, me and my boy Gibbs, we went down to the Stormzy festival, and we went around basically asking people what their toxic traits were. At the time, Stormzy had a song out with Fredo called Toxic Traits. So it was all tongue in cheek. So we just basically we got a couple of mics, got my phone, and we basically went around basically saying to people, listen, look, it's a Stormzy song, you're here to see Stormzy, blah, blah, blah. Just for laughs, what's your toxic traits? And it was interesting. I think, initially it started out a bit slow, but of course, we're at a festival, people start drinking or whatever, they start to relax. And you know what I mean? People did get involved. We had a few people, well, to be fair, quite a few people that were like, I'll tell you, but don't record that shit. So there was a lot of toxic traits that never made it even to the footage. But yeah, if you get a chance, go through the page and have a look at them. They were jokes. But so, and like I said, it was a good, interesting experience in the sense that, going out to people and asking them to basically reveal what the worst parts about them are. But again, I think that's something I can only do once. I don't think I can keep. And again, if it weren't for Stormzy's song, I don't think anyone would be. Do you know what I mean? If it weren't for Stormzy's song at a Stormzy festival with Stormzy fans, I don't think there's any way I could have sort of gone around and just been like, hey, tell me the way. Do you know what I mean? It just wouldn't have worked that way. But as I said, I think that's something I can only really just do the once. Maybe I could do maybe a second time, piggybacking off of that in that sense. But I think even then, I think we'll get to a point where even if I keep doing it, like how long will it, if it let's say it got popular and I turned it into like some sort of segment, how long will it be before people just start making shit up and just saying, oh, my text rate is this or this, that, you know what I mean? Just, it will get to that point, where people are just basically, they just, let me make something up that sounds wild. Does that make sense? So, I don't know, man. I think to myself, how much of what we're seeing is on, how much of what we're seeing on social media is genuinely, these are genuine like moments. It's like I just see like I saw like it's even like same thing like in like when you see actually no, another thing is this. Is anyone seeing these wild videos where these people are just cooking outlandish shit? Like this one. I don't know if you can see. Maybe that you can't see it. Anyway, the guy's got a cow's head with snakes in it, which are alive. And my mom's like, I don't I don't know if these people are actually eating this shit or they're just like, let's just cook some crazy shit. And don't get me wrong, it is like, it's wild. Like the preparation is mad. Like there is an element I think to myself, this must be real because this, do you know what I mean? Look, he's got a cow's head, he's got some pineapples in there, and he's got snakes in there. And I don't like, who you serving this to, bruv? Do you know what I mean? Look at this is that's wild. Anyway, do you know what I mean? I'm again like these like how much of this is just this is genuinely real shit. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like genuine stuff that's actually taking place. Like, cause this guy, and again, like when I keep seeing, like I'm at a point where I'm thinking to myself, these people just sit there and think, what can we cook? What crazy shit can we cook today? And and I'm like, I won't be surprised if there's an element where this is just someone's just gone to one of these places, just set up shop and been like, right, well, this is the show that we're doing. We're gonna make it seem mad genuine because the other thing as well, like the impression is given off is that like this is this is I don't know. It's like I can't tell if it's poor people food or it's rich people food. Like a certain elements is it sounds like as if if this is all you had to eat, this is what you'd eat. But then this guy's chopping up a cow's head with pineapples and all these other vegetables and a lot of herbs and spices, which suggests to me you're not lacking that much. Do you know what I mean? Also, his equipment is the guy has a wok the size of like 35 dinner plates. Do you know what I mean? So it's a case of I don't know, like you've got quite the utensils. I don't know what else is there. What else is there? It's I don't know, man. Like even with this, like I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. One thing I'm thoroughly confused about. This Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. I don't know. I don't know who's won or who's winning, or if it's I don't know if it's over, if it's still going. I think now Drake's done a thing where he's performing the song. I know Kendrick just did a whole like concert where I'm so thoroughly, to be fair, even at the beginning, I think I watched the video of some white guy explaining it to me. So okay, in terms of the whole beef situation or whatever it is, but I'm so thoroughly like it goes straight off my head. But yeah, I don't. If someone knows what's going on, please let me know because I don't know what's going on with that. I will say like there is. I will say this. I think there is an element where I don't know. There's an element where like I think the people are more driving the narrative than what's actually happening. Like I always see like if I can tell when I've seen a post that's come up and then they're Kendrick fans that are talking about the whole situation, and I can tell when is Drake fans when I talk about the situation, and it's a case of like I don't know who to believe right now. Like and it's weird because surely it should just be I listen to that song, I listen to his song, and I go, oh okay, that guy's the winner. But I can't lie, like when you like I think we're all so susceptible to two narratives. There's an element where like when someone says, oh, Drake is finished, this, that, and the other. And you got loads of people saying, I don't know, there's an element you think to yourself, is he finished? But then you hit but then Mama's doing sold out concerts still. So where you're like, well, maybe that's not the case. I don't know. Like, but it's a weird. I mean, there's an element where like I'm finding it difficult to think for myself in regards to what's going on. But anyway, yeah. If someone knows what's going on, please explain it to me. But I wanted to circle back to the whole 9 to 5 thing. I think I get it. I guess social media to some extent is making people think they should be doing like a hell of a lot more than what they're doing at home. Sorry. I guess I do get it in the sense that social media is making people think to themselves, I should be doing way more than what I got going on. So I do get that. So I do get the element of the restlessness that people do feel when they go to their job and they're like, this is unfulfilling, or blah 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 blah. And I do get it because when you do hear about things like, changing different career paths or blah blah blah, whatever it is, or even if it's some idiot telling you, I'll give you 10 extra money or all that dumb shit. Anyway, like I've seen it because I remember like earlier this year I did like a data analyst course, and essentially when you go to sign up for one of these courses, basically the way it's laid out is you do the course, you upskill yourself, you get the job done, which more or less is the case. However, what it doesn't tell you is that, of course, you doing the course and getting qualified and sort of learning the skill is the start of it. At that point, you then now need to start executing and start, trying to learn as much as you can to get as good as you can about the job. So essentially what the course is teaching you is the basics of it for you to figure out what you're getting into, and then from there you then progress to whatever it is. And I think that's the case with everything. But you find that it was almost like people came and these it was they're government funded courses, so of course you don't have to pay. So there's an element where that commitment, you don't necessarily also have to commit financially. So I guess it's a lot easier for people to be like, oh, I don't mind doing that, because they hear about the potential earning potential, and they're like, yeah, I'll do that, whatever. But I remember when we started the course, there was quite a few people, whatever it was, and as we were going through it, people start dropping off, and it's almost like when it was really easy, they're teaching us how to suck eggs or whatever, it's fine. But when we start getting to the nitty gritty, and then it starts getting like, it starts to sort of, it just starts to get real, I guess, in a sense. Now you're getting people that are like, okay, this ain't what I signed up for, because I'm not understanding. And I remember there was a time where there was a point where the tutor was like, listen, like, this is what you're here for. You're here to, like, part of, learning to code is, you come across problems and you learn to figure them out. That's how you get better at it. And people are like, and you can see there's almost people like, nah, that's not what I'm here for. So I do get it. Like, there is an element where, the status quo, the way things are at the moment, is not against you, but it doesn't make it easy for you to sort of be self-aware of who you are and whatever it is you're doing. I think people, when they look around, it's just more what I don't have and what I would like, or what I think I would like. And I think this is where, because the thing is, like, and I get it, there is a cost of living crisis, but people have been bitching about their jobs for time out of mind. Do you know what I mean? So even before we had, even before there was, these issues about money, whatever it is, people have been whining about their jobs. So I do get it. Do you know what I mean? There is that element of things are really expensive and blah blah blah, this and the other. Yeah, I do get that bit. But talking solely on just the whinge and whiny sort of culture that is, and then, the worst thing is, like, I remember, like, there's times where I've been at work and we're in the break room, and you be hearing this guy sort of complain about this, that, and the other. And I remember one time I was like, you know what? Everything this guy says, I'm gonna fire back a solution. Literally. So it says something. Oh yeah, and what do you call it? Yeah, we're finishing really late, blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say to him, okay, what time would you like us to finish? This time. I started to say, Mark, go find another job that does that. The way you finish at that time. Oh yeah, but it's a bit hard to find. I said, yeah, but you got time. Look for one. Yeah, but devil, I'm like, okay, fair enough. He goes, yeah, but the other thing as well, I can't really, I can't get there because I can't drive. I'm like, okay, find a remote job. yeah, okay, yeah, I will, but I just haven't got what do you call it? I've got no way of doing the remote job. I haven't got a computer. I'm like, oh, I want you to save for a bit and then what I mean, earn some money and then buy a computer. Oh yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, I said, well, there's jobs you can do. There's remote jobs you can do just on your phone. You've got a really good iPhone there, so use that. Oh yeah, I do get it, but it's like there was no everything, every single thing I said. There's a rebuttal, And in fact, it wasn't even a rebuttal. It was just like it's almost as if he wanted to, and I get it. There's an element where I'm now complaining about complainers, but put that to the side. There's an element where do you know what I mean? It's like for this guy in particular, it's him. Like he's the issue. And there's an element where it doesn't matter what job this guy's in, he's gonna be that guy, who just complains about anything and everything, to an extent where if everything was alright, he's gonna complain about the thing that might go wrong. Do you know what I mean? If you woke up and I feel like sometimes for certain people, if they woke up and had nothing to complain about, they'd lose it. I think they generally lose their fucking minds. All right, what else we got here? What else have we got? What's that with P Diddy? I wonder if my man still is in prison. Is he what? Has that gone away? Yeah. There's an element that I don't always believe in conspiracy theories, but that wild video of his got took down quick. So that's why maybe my man isn't involved in something or know certain people, because that video went down quick and you don't see it nowhere, and no one's grilling him. Like, he ain't being Gayle King or nothing. Do you know what I mean? He ain't even being Piers Morgan. I thought he'd be there, but like even these I don't know if anyone's seen these this thing where then people pop the balloons, like when they don't like something, like when you sort of you'll have like a bunch of guys lined up or a bunch of girls, and the opposite sex will come in like one person, and then if the people ain't interested, they'll pop their balloons or whatever it is. And I think to myself, like even that, I don't know how much of that is genuine when you're generally like, do you know what I mean? Because some even I don't know, man. I'm wondering how many people, how many situations, how many things are online where people are just looking for their moment to be like, this is my chance to sort of, I don't know, become the next, I don't know, like Snooki or whatever you want to call it, or the next viral idiot or the next viral twat. Do you know what I mean? Like how many? And I feel like sometimes they put these people I feel like sometimes they set these people up. One of them, they put like this guy, that's what you call it, who was really attractive women, and then they put basically the guy that, as far as if you describe them, like he's not at the top of it. It doesn't meet quite the criteria for what women like in terms of tall, dark, handsome, this and the other, whatever. Anyway, it's almost like, I don't know, man. It's almost like some of these shows, they pick people that are just gonna get, just so you can have that drama of, fuck this guy. It's like the people that do them. What is it? And people that cook with them mad meals. I'm thinking to myself, there's no way you can cook that shit on a regular basis. Some of these things have got like 35 ingredients, and I'm thinking, the time we take to cook all of that. You know what I mean? If it seems like everything is. That's it. It seems like everything is a highlight reel. Food, like food is a highlight reel. Do you know what I mean? Like it's gone on a date is a highlight. Chatting to anybody is out. Like everything is like a viral moment. Do you know what I mean? It seems like everyone's trying to be like, whether like you see, even when you see people like doing like what's the word? Like workouts in the gym. It's a case of like, now for anyone that works out, regularly, consistently, they know that most workouts are quite boring. They're usually quite standard in the sense of what the things that get you sort of results. They're usually very like quite standard movements, standard exercises. The intensity might change, but as far as the movements, they are pretty much very basic. No one's jumping up and down doing star jumps with a barbell or whatever it is, or doing backflips like through the gym floor on a regular basis and saying, yeah, do you know what I mean? But it's almost, and I do get it. There is an element we want to see the sort of the extraordinary, but like, and it's almost like as if there's everybody's on the point where what's the next, like, what is the next like amazing thing I can do?